Welcome to iPen Podcast, Interviews and Conversations. Here we bring entrepreneurs and their business to their audience and communities as well as ours. We welcome and connect with them to share who they are and what they do. Authors, entrepreneurs, we extend the invitation to promote your business here on our podcast and in iPen Magazine. Your article, your story, your promotions, how you can connect with others, a new audience, a quarterly magazine presented online for all to view and subscribe to. For articles, ads, and subscriptions, please contact ipendesigns@gmail.com. For your viewing, you can see past articles, past interviews on www.NanetteMBuchanan.com. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hi, my name is Nanette Buchanan, and this is iPen Podcast, Interviews and Conversations, where we introduce every week a new guest, entrepreneur, business-wise, or as my loves of my life, authors and publishers and all things literary. So before we get started, I want to just say who I am, Nanette Buchanan, and I am the CEO and founder of iPen Visions. And my co-host, I'm going to bring my partner in crime to the screen. I always say partner in crime because there's no telling what might happen here. So I always blame her and let her know that she is my partner in crime. This is Miss Felice Reeves. Miss Reeves, introduce yourself, sweetie. How are you?
First and foremost, I'm only the shovel holder, so.
You only hold the shovel? Okay. I'll go along with that.
And I'm just going to say to myself, welcome back for me.
Yes, welcome back. You were on an extended vacation. I must say that. And over the last week, I think we both were on an extended vacation because we weren't here last week.
Because someone was celebrating a birthday.
Celebrating my birthday, celebrating my wedding anniversary. I have one of those husbands that said we're going to do it all around the same date so I don't forget. Okay, so
he's really a smart man.
Right, the 18th was my birthday. The 20th was our anniversary, 30 years of marriage, and we still like each other. We
still like each other. But just know I still have the shovel. So
hey, that's what partners do. Well, we're going to get right along with the show. And I just want to say something about this lady, this fantastic woman that we're bringing on tonight. I just want to say something about her. I met her I'll say almost 20. Oh, maybe better not say what it is, because then I'm telling. Well, let's say I met her a while ago. Okay. I met her a while ago. As a matter of fact, when my first book was out. I met her when I put out my very first book. And of course, when we write our first books, and I'm going to say this openly to all authors, every book brings on its own challenge. Every book brings on its own problem, and every book teaches you a new lesson. And this book had all the lessons because I had no idea what the heck was going on. However, I knew I wanted to publish this book, and I knew I wanted this book to be what it became. I wanted it to be the beginning. And Miss Jessica, she smiled at me and made real nice conversation. And then she said, "Baby, you got to redo this book." She said, "Baby, you need to redo this book."
She kind of cradled you first, right?
Because your letters is too big. And I told her, I said, well, I have a lot of readers that are older readers. I said that to her. I said, these readers are elders, and they like the big print. She said, "Baby, you didn't write the book just for the elders. Change your print." So I want to commend her for her advice is always in the back of my head. her and one of her loving partners, Miss Ella Curry. Their advice is always, I still have the books that they gave me, the notes that they gave me, and I still every now and then go back and say, that ain't what they said to do. So I follow them along. So I want to welcome her. I really do. I want to thank her for accepting the invitation. Today's guest is Miss Jessica Tillis, and I want to bring her to the stage front and center. Hey, lady. Hey. Do you remember that?
I do. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I was 20. I was 20 at the time.
You were 20 at
you were 10. So
right. I just wanted to let everybody know we've known each other a while. And the blessing that comes from that for all of you that are authors, new entrepreneurs, and I'm quite sure we'll talk about it more explicitly tonight. But understand those people that you talk to when you first start out, don't let them go. Because nobody got to talk to you when you new. Nobody has to take the time with you when you're new. And I appreciate those that took the time to say to me, hey, you did a good job, but look at this.
And you know, when we started, Nanette, we didn't have, there were resources, but not in overabundance like it is now.
No, not at all.
My gosh. And I remember going to an event with Colin Dixon, Jamila Ellis, and Brenda L. Thomas. And they were on a panel doing a seminar. And the first thing they said was, do not look self-published.
Exactly. Exactly.
And when I called Barnes and Noble to schedule a book signing, I said, I'm an author. My name is Jessica Tillis. We need to speak with your representative.
Yes. Yes.
You know, we need to speak with your representative. And I said, oh, shucks, I better start doing my research.
Right.
Very good.
And the thing about it is that, you know, we all come with a big vision and a big dream and those big goals. And we don't understand that for everything that we do, there's a way you have to walk.
Yeah.
I just remember my grandmother saying that all the time, that I don't care what shoes you put on or where you going. You better know how to walk in them.
Yes.
You know, you got to know how to walk in those shoes. So walking in the shoes of a publisher, I put my shoes on. Ella told me I had them on the wrong feet. Jessica told me that I didn't have to wear laced up shoes. I could wear slides. So how are you, my dear? How are you?
You know what? I am blessed and highly favored. I'm telling you, life is wonderful. I am blessed to be able to do what I love to do, what I'm passionate about doing for 24 years full time without taking a break.
Wow.
And I ain't living on the street. Look, I'm not living on the street yet.
Right. And that's a big thing, though. That's a big thing.
It really is
a big thing. Because a lot of people, I like going back again. When I first started, people were so amazed at the fact that I was still working. I had no intentions on quitting my job. I had no intentions on stopping working. I just wanted to put a book out that had a story of substance. I had no intention on saying I wanted to be the author or I wanted to be the writer or I wanted to be the speaker. That was not my intention. So for you to say that you've done this for 20 some odd years continuously and not been put out on the street is the voice that says, if you do it the wrong way.
Well, not only that, but I was forced, right? I was forced to go into this full time. I was working in corporate America. And then in 2004, I was downsized. And I was just devastated, although I knew it was coming because my boss told me she was retiring. And I remember she said, stay put. They're going to downsize you. If you leave, you're not going to get your severance or any of that stuff. So I stayed put, went in the office at 7 o'clock this morning and made 7 o'clock in the morning and made a U-turn at 7:15.
Wow.
And on the drive home, I called my good friend Gary Johnson with Black Men in America. And I was in tears. I don't know what y'all doing. He said, stop all that noise. You have, at the time, it was called the writer's assistant.
Right.
He said, you have the writer's assistant. This is the next chapter in your life, working full time. And then, so I was really excited about that. I was doing my thing. 6 months later, I had to move in with my mama and daddy because my mama took ill. And I became her full-time caretaker until she passed in 2007. And I'm telling you, the day of the funeral, I swear, dementia latched on to daddy, and that was it. So from 2005 to 2011, I was working the publishing business, writing, publishing other authors. That's what kept me sane. I'm telling you. Otherwise, I would have lost my mind. Because anybody out there know caretaking is not
for the weak. Not for the weak.
When you're taking care of 2 people.
Yeah, it's not for the weak.
Wow.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, well, let me ask you. So, what was your inspiration to start writing? Because in this story, you suddenly are writing, but what started you? What made you want to, and how'd you get started with that?
So I wrote my first book, Anything Goes. I started writing it in 2000. And let's see, how can I word this?
Any way you want to. I
don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Your company says express yourself. So
express yourself. So, well, I always been an avid reader, and I don't know, I got a bug up my and decided to just start sitting at the computer. I was bored, and I just started writing, just whatever came off the top of my head.
Really?
And then the next morning, I called my sister Leslie, and I said, "Girl, listen to this." And I read it to her, and she said, "Oh, what book is that? I want to read that." I said, "It's mine." She said, "Shut up." I said, "No." and so after that, every morning at 7 a.m., while we both were getting dressed for work, I had her on speakerphone, and we were talking about, okay, chapter 2 gonna be blah, blah, blah. Okay, but chapter 3, no, we can't have her do this, that, and other. So my sister, Leslie Walker, really helped me write Anything Goes.
Kudos to Leslie.
Yeah. And then after that, it just, I think what kept me going was the writing community. I mean, listen, back then, we hustled. We piled in each other's cars, and we drove from here to there to everywhere with our books. And we went to every different event. We didn't have all this online stuff.
Right.
But we had the AOL chat room. But that's pretty much how it started. And the more I write, the more better I get. Now, I will tell you, with Anything Goes, my cousin Scott loves to tell the story of, we were at New Year's. Every New Year's Day, we spend New Year's with my cousin Barbara and her family and all the family on my dad's side of the family. And so I was so excited because I published my first book. And I was like, look, y'all, I have my book. And I said, you want me to read it? And my mother's sitting over there going, and the aunt's like, yeah, let us hear it. So I write erotica, but I didn't know at the time about sensual erotica. I just knew straight, get right in it, bam, right?
Express yourself, right?
I read that, and my aunts turned red in the face. My father in his head. And I'm like, what do you think? And one aunt, I think it was Aunt Marty, she said, well, Lord, what enticed you to write that? And I mean, I reading every word, every
Oh.
anatomy that,
Oh.
And so then the next day, my mom called me over to the house because I was married at the time. So mom called me over to the house. She said, sit down here and here's a piece of paper and pencil. Let me give you some other words you can use regarding the anatomy.
Hey, mama.
Yeah, my mother was a teacher, and I was just sitting there turning red, writing all this stuff down. I still have that list. I refer to it all the time, and I add to it. It's like 3 pages of different descriptions of the anatomy. I might turn it into a book. Who knows?
There you go. Awesome.
But it's surprising too that, like you say, that we don't know how far our reach is going to go. You sat there and read it to your family, and I was worried about my family reading it. And mine wasn't so much erotica. It just was about family matters. Because if you remember, my first book was Family Secrets, Lies, and Alibis.
Yes.
And it was about family matters. And it wasn't until maybe my 3rd or 4th book that my husband's aunt called. And at that time, she had to be in her 80s. And she called and she said, well, come on now. When is the next book with that Mintz family? I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, do you mean that you've been reading? She said, I can't wait for you. I get my book from Amazon. I was like, oh God.
Isn't that a wonderful feeling?
I love
my cousin Rose.
That is awesome.
Listen, my cousin Rose, she has read all my books, and she would call me, child, that Raven.
Yes.
And where's the next one coming out? And so my cousin Rose, if you're listening, I love you. She is my biggest
Yes. And it's so fantastic. Like I said, the journey. Just looking back at the journey, and when I contacted you and everything, and I said, I gotta have those that have made this journey possible, because they're not only do they have their own journey, but they've been important to me in my journey. And I wanted to make sure that they express themselves to an audience where other people can feel. I mean, we all think we know everything. We could, like you said, now you could Google it, you could do this, you could do that. But there's so much that you can't do if you don't have a personal connection with somebody that will laugh with you, cry with you, tell you straight up, do it over, correct this, no, that's wrong, and I just sit back and I tell everybody, yes, I'm self-published, but I have connectors. I'm not the one that's doing all of it. I have the connectors. You come to me, I give you the consultation, I tell you where you can go, I tell you how you can do it, and then boom, I send you off to the connectors.
Right.
Because the connectors still keep me connected. And then you have those such as yourself who then turn it into a company where you use everything to your advantage. Now I got a question though. How many of them have you thrown back?
How many of what have I thrown back?
You know who.
The connectors.
What you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Look, what you mean, men? How many men have I thrown back? Let me see.
Answer that question, but I also want to know, because I think it was very, very brave of you to pull out your book and read it for your family.
Yes.
But you know what, though?
Let me ask you.
I'm admiring that big time.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. When you talk to a new writer, when you talk to someone that's new, okay, someone that's a novice, they don't know what they're doing or whatever, and they send you that book. And like I said, I know the voice of Jessica Tillis. I know, what you're going to say. What is this? That's the first question.
Yeah, that's always my first question.
Yeah, what is this? What do you think this is? That's always the first question. But how do you get these nuances these new folks, the ones that aren't looking to put in the time, they want it just like this. What are you telling them?
Slow your roll. Slow your roll. These are the steps we need to take first. We have to do A, B, C, D, and E. You just can't put anything out there, because I'm going to tell you something. People don't have a problem. People, meaning readers, consumers, don't have a problem tearing your ish up on Amazon reviews or anywhere else. So what I do is, I'm just Jessica. You know, I talk to them like I'm talking to a girlfriend or a boyfriend or any other friend. And I'm like, listen, you can't do it this way. I had a client who I worked with. She had absolutely no quotation marks around her dialogue. And she had like about 500 pages. And I started reading. I said, what the hell is all of this? So I called her. So I just went ahead and put all because sometimes you got to show them how to do it, right? And I did all those dialogue, sent it to her. She sent it back. She had taken all those dialogue quotes out. You know, I was a hot mama. Ooh. So I called her. I said, why did you do that? Well, I don't know why they're there. I said, do you even read? No, I don't read. Oh my God. Oh, how can you? There are a lot of people who write books and don't read.
Wow.
As authors, that's how we hone. That's how I hone my writing skills. Reading other authors.
Wow.
Heck, I've learned a lot from my clients. You know, they all have different writing styles, but I take them under my wing, and I'm straight. I give it straight with no chaser. I'm like, listen, you can't do this. You're going to get Jessica. I'll drop an F-bomb here, there, and everywhere. And they, you know, and it's like, yeah, okay, I get it. And they'll say, well, you being too hard on me. Well, okay. I'll apologize after we get this done.
Right.
And all of those that I've been hard on, they're still with me today. And my thing is, do it right, because I know what I went through. And even today, and that, you know, you can go into bookstores, authors will go into bookstores, and you can get with the manager, okay, schedule a signing. But at the end of the day, you still have to go through the process
a whole lot
of getting to the buyer and getting your book in, sending a cover letter with the sales sheet and the book and this and that. You have to do all of that because that's what the major publishers do. In fact, they start working and promoting that book from day one. Up for 365 days, pretty much. Wow. And I got my hands on that list too. What they do on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and all the way up to 365. So it's a long process. You know, writing a book in January, getting it edited in February, and putting it out in March. That's not how we did it back in the day.
And to be honest with you, I still can't do it like that. I can't do it like that. I can't. I have a process that I go through, and unless one process is done, I can't move to the next process. I can't skip. There's steps that I've learned over the years that I just can't skip. And I'm learning now that because everything is animated and everybody wants to go quickly, that even in doing it the quicker way, I'm finding that there's more mistakes being made than anything else. And now I got to go back and look at it and go, well, wait a minute. When I sent that in, that's not what it was. Right. So where did that mistake come from? Because now they've got which I was going to ask you with my next question.
Sure.
This AI thing.
Oh, I love it.
That's going on. Well, the only thing that I don't like, I like it for editing. I like it for editing, but I don't like the process when it goes somewhere else. Because now I just got my book back and it's got mistakes that I know were not in the book.
What do you mean go somewhere else?
When it goes to Amazon to be checked, Amazon does a check to make sure that you have not used the AI.
They don't know. They ain't
Well,
got nowhere. All they doing is looking at the AI. When you put your book up in Amazon, it'll say, "Well, here's some errors, and here's some errors and errors." You know, they're slang and stuff like that. I just ignore it and keep it moving.
yeah.
Yeah.
I found out that this book they've done me in. So I've got to go back and redo. Yes, I got to go back and redo stuff that I know. Like I even went to the company that I've been dealing with since 2007.
Mhm.
And she was like, "No, that's not Another person even told me that their pages were upside down.
What?
Goodness.
They got their pages back and 2 or 3 chapters of their book was upside down.
Wow.
Yeah. They're making a lot of
funny
errors.
business is going on over there.
Yeah, they're making a lot of errors. So
Yeah.
I'm now going back to the old school where no, I can't proof it online.
Mm-hmm.
Send me my book.
Yeah.
And let me see
Yeah.
what the book looks like. I can't do the manuscript proof.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the AI content and everything else, I'm like you. I enjoy it for the editing and to make sure that everything is right, other than the
But
conversation.
then you got to be careful too, because I noticed that some stuff AI spit back at me is not correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, that comma's not supposed to be there. But what I like AI for, people say, listen, you cannot write. I don't care what nobody say. I have tried it. When AI first came out, I was playing around with it. I spent hours. One time I spent like 8 hours just typing and playing and trying to get the feel of it. You cannot write a whole book. AI does not write a whole book.
No, it will
Because
not.
I'm going to tell you something. You can say, okay, write me chapter 1. It'll write chapter 1. Okay, write me chapter 2. Write me 3 or 4. And then when it comes down to chapter 5, they done repeated what's in chapter 1.
Mhm.
So it's
Like, okay,
not.
I'm done.
I like using it for outlining. I'm not an outliner. I'm a
Yeah.
pantser. Always have been. Now I'm trying my hand at writing a murder mystery, but it's going to have whole lot of sex in it. But I did use AI to help me outline, because I don't know anything about murder mysteries, and it's helping me to research, and I ask a lot of questions, and then but I also go to my reference manuals, and I've got manuals on how to poison people. There's a whole lot of them.
Listen, let me tell you
I'm
something.
a good shovel holder.
let me tell you something funny about that. You say that one of my first murder mystery. I'm on there trying to find out how to poison somebody, and I'm online looking it up, and I hit this one page where every night this professor was doing a course on murder. So I'm in all the notes, and I'm in all of the stuff that they have put up, as notes, just little clips of what he had. And this one young man was asking him a million questions, and he was answering the questions back. And finally he said, son, I hope you're not planning no murder, because you've been up here every night. I said, me too. Let me get off. Me too.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. You have to do a lot of researching for that, because there's a lot of technical stuff.
Oh my goodness. Listen,
but I enjoyed it too.
But then, and when 2001, 2002, I started buying books on, how to poison, how to do this, how to, and it's all literate, it's all reference for writing.
Right.
But you have to do your research.
And not only that, I think in today's day and time, a lot of our movies and a lot of our books and different things, we're so used to having the shining glory to it that we don't realize that there takes a little bit of intelligence to do some of these things, that these people are not just people that haphazardly did.
No.
The planning and all of that other stuff takes a little bit more than the average mind. So yeah, I understand totally. But now, when did you decide to change your company from
The writer's assistant.
The writer's assistant.
So, a classmate of mine, Paula Tillman, from Largo High School. Yeah, Largo. Anyway, she owns her own company, and it was around 2009. She suggested to me that I get my MBE, Minority Business Enterprise, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise for the state of Maryland, and offer services outside of the publishing industry because I wanted to grow my business. And you're doing it full time, you got to get revenue streams from everywhere. And so I said, you know what, let me change the acronym, TWA, which is the acronym for the writer's assistant,
right?
And TWA Solutions and Services. And by changing my name, I'm able to work with a lot of small businesses. I do a lot of graphic design, editing work. I've worked with PG County. I've worked with a lot of different local county agencies. And so that was in 2009, and I haven't looked back.
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, it's good. Of course, we should diversify or have multiple streams of income. Love that to the core. So you mentioned Maryland. So you're there, and I see that you're a native of DC.
Yeah,
I was born in Alexandria. So,
what? Okay, DMD sister. There you go.
And so do you? Well, I know this is maybe a dumb question, but do you feel that where you grew up shaped, like maybe or influenced your writing, or what kind of research did you do for your erotica? Because you said you done research about the poisonous stuff.
Okay, so I'm 57 years old and I look good too.
Yes, you do. You look damn good.
So I've been around a few blocks.
Oh, so you did your own research. Okay.
My first book I read was Wifey by Judy Blume.
Oh, okay.
My cousin Darlene and I got a hold of that book. And that's a really good question. Sex sells, and I'm gonna keep it real. Oh Lord, I don't know who's listening.
Go. What did it say? Express yourself.
Well, listen, I'm a sexual person. I like sex. But I like sex. And so it's just that, people have sex, and I just don't know. I just don't know how to answer that question. I have a very demented way of thinking.
Okay.
I can write happy, and then sometimes I can go to a very dark place. So dark that I scare the crap out of myself. Yeah. And I don't know. I write a lot about couples, and couples are intimate. They have sex, and they cheating on each other and having sex with other people, and and they have all their indiscretions.
Because my first thought when you said that you read it out loud to your family, I'm thinking, how are they looking at her now? I mean, did they
You know what? Those aunts, God rest their soul. Yeah, they're all deceased. My niece Erica, at the time, I think she was 16, going to Catholic school. She took my book to school.
She probably could tell you all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but just from reading, and I like writing about intimacy. And I write it the way I would like for a man to make love to me. That's how I write it, and how I would like to make love to a man.
Right.
That's how I write it.
And you know what, I think that comes off better. I think that because it's real. It's just like anything else that goes on. We talked about murder. You could talk about friendships. You could talk about anything else. It's a part of life. So if it's a part of life, then why not call it what it is?
Right.
Yes.
I mean, if this is what he's doing to you, for you, with you, above you, or below you, then why not call it what it is? You know, call it what it is.
Because I'm about to date myself.
Well, not only that, the thing about it is that I can remember in my very first book, I needed them to be intimate as quickly as possible because I needed their relationship to be just that tight when the problems hit. So, you know, when we discuss that, don't we have people that fall in love too quick? Don't we have people that, you know, automatically the sex is so good that they think they've been in love for years? You know, this has been my lover and they didn't even know it. You know, right? That's the type of, you know, romance that you want to do. What I think is a problem for me, especially. Not so much the erotica and what they, you know, what they do or what they're doing to each other or anything. It's when people want to use all these other terms.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're getting really ugly with the terms.
Yeah.
When you start getting really ugly with the terms, I think that turns the audience off more.
It's not romantic, it's not passionate, and that's what my mother taught me.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Because I was using the P word and the D word like it was going out of style. And my father got so angry I was using the N word. He was like, "Oh my God." And I went back and re-edited Apple Tree to take with me to the National Book Club conference. And I had like over 80 mentions of the N-word and I cringed. And I deleted them all. You know, I took them all out of used another word. Because after my father really, you know, got on me about that, I just stopped using that word. So I'm
gonna tell on myself and I'm gonna date myself.
Okay.
So when I was a teenager, I got hooked on these Harlequin romances, and so you know, so in they really were soft porn, but
Harlequin didn't go behind the closed door. They don't go behind closed doors.
So what was okay? So there were a bunch of books like these. I can't think of what some genre, but because then I got into Harlequin romances, but there was something like what's his name, Fabio or something, or
with the long blonde hair on the hair blowing on the cover.
And it was always him coming in, rescuing the damsel and awakening her to all of her things.
That's not my reality.
No.
But that's what I'm saying is that's how I got started into reading and getting into erotica or all of that. But as a young person, those other books, the Harlequin romances, I could subscribe to those, without parental consent and all that.
Yeah.
But my mother was an avid reader.
And today they don't even care about the parental consent, because I get the girls that walk up to the table and go, "Okay, what is this about?" And I'm like, "How old are you?" And they're like, "I read Zane." Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can say after that.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Just turn on YouTube, turn on any social media.
And not only that, the thing is, just like you said with your aunts and everything, I have grandchildren that have now, for some reason, they have taken on this literary expertise. One wants to be a journalist, the other one wants to be a writer, the other one wants to be an artist, the other one. And I'm saying to myself, where did all of this come from? All of it. But the thing about it is I don't want them to read my book until they're at least 21, 22. I don't.
Yeah, well,
And how you gonna stop
I'm
that,
like,
Nene?
they
You have to
probably
show them.
already snuck and read
Eh.
it.
I stopped giving my son the books because I don't want them to, no, you can't have the book because your kids aren't old enough.
Yeah. I just, I this last book, my newest book, Indiscretions, I have like 20 pages of this sex scene in a hotel room.
Wait, 20 pages?
20 pages. And I kept posting on Facebook. It's 20 pages of sex too much? And some people said, yeah. And Zane replied, no. She said, no, not at all.
Nanette, I think you need to take a page from Jessica's book. Just set all your grandchildren
You know
down
what?
and read it to them.
I said to myself, after the 85-year-old aunt and then the grands, all that fall in between, you hit. That's it. All that falls in between. You just have to take it where it goes. Wherever it takes you, that's where it's going. But the thing is, I love it when it's in contact with a story.
Yes.
I love it when a story flows. Your writings, I love it because of the fact that they flow with a story. If it's not a story, it's just like me watching a movie. I can't watch a movie when the woman is so dumb that she dumb. Like I just can't. I have to have that, and I guess that's why I call my writing reality fiction. I have to have that reality to it. It has to be real. Come on, we don't all just go and bang on the kitchen counter without thinking about the fact that we got to cook dinner up there. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm glad you brought that up because I had a conversation with my client, Ann Jeffries. And I love her. Well, I've been working with her and editing her books since 2013. She's got like 100 books out now. Well, not quite, but she's getting there. And so I started writing a mystery. So I sent her the first chapter to read, and she said, nobody smokes cigarettes inside anymore. I said, well, it's fiction, but it's 2024. Nobody, you can't smoke. I said, in fiction, what happened to it being make-believe and whatever? Now fiction is if it's not like it is, if it's not real, then it's not. It's fiction.
But it's fiction. Yes, it's fiction.
So if I want my dude smoking his cigarette in his office,
it happens.
You can't do that. It's 2024.
Right.
I said, oh Lord.
But it's the truth though. Know, when you want to change the trend, do you change the trend with what's going on? Or do you keep the trend into what you know as the author is going on?
Yeah.
That's a question that you would have to ask, someone that's gone through trend after trend after trend after trend. But do you change your trend just because? I don't think so. I just don't think so.
That's time travel. Well, ain't nobody time traveling out here in 2024. So let me know.
Exactly.
And
but I do think that our readers are so adapt to the nuance of things. If you don't have a kid that's playing TikTok in your book, your kids aren't really teenagers, or if they're not doing, the things that are going on now, they're not really that. But I think they have to take into content what we're writing about. Yes. What year are we looking at? Because a lot of us go back and write things that happened before. It doesn't have to necessarily happen in 2024.
That's
it
true.
Could be happening in 2000. And in 2000 we didn't have all of this going on. So we have to think of it that way too. I wanted to ask you about your quotes. I found them quite interesting. I found them like I was like, wow, I like that.
Love many, trust few.
Yes, love many, trust few.
Learn to paddle your own canoe.
And learn to paddle your own canoe.
My Aunt Fanny, I miss her. At my 6th grade graduation from Richardson Elementary School in DC. She gave me a card, and that's what she wrote inside, along with the $20 bill.
Uh-huh.
And
Nice.
that has stuck with me.
What,
all my life.
the $20 bill you still got?
No, that's long gone. That's long gone. But the saying, love many, trust few, learn to what is it? Learn to
Paddle.
paddle your own canoe. Yeah.
Right.
So it's all one saying, or is it?
Yeah, it's all one saying.
It's all one
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Well,
love
you know what?
that.
We get those little nuggets and everything. And as
Mhm.
authors, we want to give those little nuggets. I think in each story that we develop, we want to give off
Yeah.
some type of advice or some type of nugget to let
Yeah.
somebody know if your romance is going this way, you might
Mhm.
want to, do this, or you might want to change it to that.
I have a saying. I have a saying that I put at the end. I don't know if I did it in discretions at the end of the acknowledgments. Believe there are no limits but the sky.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning I come into my office and I look at that and I just like, yeah, I have no limits today.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
In the
And
sky
that's
or
what
of
you
the
have
sky?
to think.
In the sky or of the sky?
Believe there are no limits but the sky.
Oh, but the sky. Okay.
And the sky is way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are no limits as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And not only that, the thing is, we have to. I think one of the things that everyone fears in this world that we're in right now is the limits that people are putting on you. You know, in everything that we do, they want to hone you into a certain area or a certain limitation. And I think that writing takes you so far beyond. You know,
oh my gosh,
you could travel so far beyond and never have been there.
Yes.
Never been to the country. But if you read a book about the country, you can just about know what's going to be there.
If you use Google Earth, you can walk down the street of Paris too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Coming out with all of this, even with this company another company that I'm affiliated with, it's the virtual reality, but now there's extended reality, where it really mimics that real world, where you feel like wind or where you feel like a ball. You can actually feel those things, and so that's going to be interesting in the no limits of things. But some things about the limitless things that are out there are concerning for me, because for certain things, especially in our society, there needs to be some boundaries so that you are based in reality, as opposed to that there's certain things that need a boundary, if you will, just so
that's
where
true.
it's crossed and stuff like that. So, but I love it. I love the idea of being limitless in your thinking, because again, everything starts from a thought. Everything in this whole world was a thought first.
Absolutely.
And not only that, when you say limitless too, we have to be careful of the boundaries that we cross. You know, that a lot of times, you get these people that are stuck in this virtual world and they never come back. That's what's going on with our kids with the video games and everything else. They're in the video game, and you trying to get them to come and share time with family, and they just want to stay in the video mode. And we have to be careful of that as well. My granddaughter, the grand wizard, she's 7, and of course she's reading chapter books. She reads chapter books.
Okay.
But her dad told her, they started school this week, and her dad told her last week, get a book and read it. Go read a book. And she told him, she said, "You keep me in those books, don't you?" you keep. So her world, her world, and in her mind, it's the fact of, you know, I'm reading.
Yeah.
But when we look at it in the limitless world of, you know, the virtual world of reality, I prefer that she does the reading
Mm-hmm.
than to be in that virtual world where you're giving her something. And of course she's exploring there too.
Yeah.
But I really want her to excel in the reading. You know, get
Yeah.
that reading in, get
Mm-hmm.
get those words in and get those things in.
Yeah.
So I mean, you went into erotica and you went into, you know, your literary world.
Yeah.
Have you done any children books?
Me?
Well, the reason that I asked is there's a cry. Well, there's been a cry to a lot of my audience and a lot of places that I've been for the tween books. Those that are going into young adulthood, those that are in college, having another similar to Harlequin, having something that they can read, but they're not quite ready for the adult world, and they're no longer a part of the teenage children world. What would you say to those writers?
I know a few. I have a few author friends who write young adult fantasy. I have some members of my writers group, the Myrtle Beach, Carolina Forest authors. We meet every twice a month, and a couple of them are write fantasy, and I just think my mind is too dirty to write anything. Now, I could write something, a children's book about my dog. I had a new dog, Rex, and I'm ready to go out there with it. I had to put him outside because he kept licking my feet. So I didn't want him, licking my feet through the whole winter.
Yes.
That dog is weird.
He is. He is different.
He's different. So I could definitely do, if I were to do a children's book, I would probably do something centered around pets, because I have 5 dogs. I love. I get it. Come by honestly. Thank you, Mama. My mama had so many dogs. My father was not a dog lover, but he loved my mama, so that's what she wanted.
Right.
He tolerated it. But I think I would write something around, animals. And then I had thought about doing a children's book around publishing. I don't.
And see, that was my question, because now with them pulling a lot of the literary things from school, with them pulling reading and with them pulling a lot of things from school, I do get a lot of, as a matter of fact, I met a brother and sister. The little boy writes about the fantastic world of this little boy that wants to grow up to be a banker. And he's crazy with math.
Wow.
So he's written 3 little books about this little boy with the math. However, his sister on the flip end has written 3 books about a little girl that loves to cook and make brownies and make cupcakes. So they're publishing their own. I'm hoping to get them on the show. Their brother and sister.
Oh my gosh.
They published their own. Each of them have 3 books. The little boy even has a coloring book. He said,
"Did y'all have an easy bake oven?"
I did.
Popped in my head. Okay, I did too. Almost burnt the bedroom down, but
my brother decided he gonna try to cook an orange in my easy.
Oh my goodness!
And then it caught on fire, and then he shoved it under the bed, and so of course, yeah.
Oh my goodness!
To this day, he was like maybe 3. I might have been 4, maybe just almost 5. And I can remember still us being in my mom's bed with the covers over our head and the firemen coming.
Oh
no! Talking about who saved the fight.
Oh my gosh.
But I just think that kids have such a vivid imagination. to hone in on that imagination and hone in on, and that's a good story, Felice. I might have to take that.
Oh,
but
you can have it.
but to hone in on
children's story,
right? But to hone in on their creativity and what they have is such a treasure that everybody is not recognizing that when they say take out the library and take out this and take out that.
Yeah.
So that was my reason for asking, do you have any, clients that are in that
I do actually. Yes. I have several clients who have written and published children's books. Yeah.
Very good.
Well, that's an overall thing. I mean, I am so enthused with the fact that you have, shared so much information with us, and that you offer your services through your company to new writers and old writers, people that want to hone in on their craft to make sure that the craft is what's ready for the public, because that's the main thing, having it where it's ready for the public.
And not only that, but I pull out my whip. I got my back scratcher, but I pull out my whip. One of my clients, two of my clients went to the National Book Club conference too. And one of them, I'm not going to say his name is Victor, but his behind scrolling in there late. I said, oh no, you would have thought I was his mama. I let him. And then the other one was late. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all can't do this. So I like to keep it, well-rounded, if you will, and just I always share my experience, and I always tell my clients, this is how I did it. This is how I got my books into the bookstores. So here, you do it too. Here's the letter I use. Here's this.
Right.
And
it's the experience. It's the experience. And you have so many. We have to be so diligent.
Yeah.
To knowing who is real and who. What's the purpose of this show? To show people that are really doing what we say we're doing.
Yeah.
Because you've got so many that will throw, hey, my package costs $650.
Yeah.
And for $650, you're not getting what you're supposed to get.
Mm-mm.
Or my package is $3,000. I had a guy today tell me he was going to charge me $3,600 to build me a website. Jessica, I've had a website since y'all told me to get one.
Yeah.
I've had a website.
Yes.
I've had a web, and I had to ask him, I said, have you seen my website? He said, you have a website? Sir, why are you bothering me with this?
That part.
Why? But every time there's a new release, I get a new set of scammers.
Yes.
That come on board, and they want to talk to me about what they can do for me.
I do.
No, I have friends that can do for me. I have a Jessica. I have a Ella. I have people that if I run into a problem, I'm going to call and say, hey, I got a problem. What do I do with this?
How do you discern someone that's a novice in this, is really excited to write how does a person discern a good, whether it be mentor or publishing services versus the one
they got to do their research?
Yeah, you're right. You have to do your research, and you have to know the different types of publishing. You've got self-publishing, and you got vanity publishing, and you got this publishing and that, and then you got to know the difference between print on demand. I keep telling people say I'm published through Amazon. No,
you're
Amazon
not.
is not a publisher. They are a book printer and a retailer. They're not a distributor. They have that extended distribution, but they are extending distribution through Ingram.
And not only that, the thing is, I had to tell a young lady from she said she was on the Amazon team, okay, and I had to explain to her, I'm not going to pay Amazon another dime. I pay for certain things that Amazon gives me through Ingram, and then they get 30% of what I sell.
Yes.
Why would I pay them anything else? Why would I give them any more money? No, they're an avenue. And I use that avenue. But that's not an avenue that you want to take
Right.
if you're looking at becoming more than. If you want to become more than, you got to do more than.
You got to do more than. And you know what? Since you mentioned that, I got to bring up the name Sylvia Hubbard. Sorry,
Yes.
Sylvia, I can't remember your marital name, but Sylvia Hubbard is thebomb.com. And she's a wealth of information, and she does not have a problem sharing and telling you how to do this, that, and the other.
Exactly.
And that's I find a big issue in the industry. No one wants to share. No one wants to like.
Exactly.
Okay,
and that's not how we started, or at least that's not how I started.
It's not how we started.
No.
But what I was going to say about Sylvia, what I learned about Sylvia, and we were talking about websites. Her website is her hub. Okay, she's selling everything on her website. You can go on her website and see her writing live. She does everything on her website. And while she's still with Amazon and wherever else, but she moves that traffic to her website. I got a little disgusted when I looked at my Amazon sales and I sold all these books. I said, 230. What the hell? And I said, not again, not anymore. I am going to now make jessicatillis.com my hub.
That's right.
Because there are plugins now where you can sell your ebooks, you can get audio books, you can sell all that stuff on your website. On your
website. And the thing about it is
giving them my money.
And they get upset. They get upset because the first thing they said is, well, we see that your sales are low. I said, where? They said, here on Amazon. I said, well, they might be low on Amazon, but they're doing pretty well on my website.
Tell Mr. Amazon, maybe he need to do something about that.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Maybe he should
because the thing is, you're not giving me, if I do a promotion, if I do anything there, I have to pay extra for it.
Yeah.
I don't plan on giving you any more money.
No.
Right.
Not giving you anything else. But I wanna just let you know, you got a couple of people that are here. You got Miss Ann Jeffries that tuned in. You got Victor Dove turned in.
That's the one who came in late at the NBCC.
Well, he came in late here too. But anyway, CJ Carson is here.
She's
Ruth
a
Redmond.
part of my Myrtle Beach crew.
Yes. Ruth
Hi,
Redmond.
everyone.
She wanted you to know that she had it was a great interview, and she's getting to know my editor even more. Love her transparency. However, I have to sign off. Kudos, Jessie. So she was on here, and just to let you know that this is an important thing for a lot of people. You know, people that go on the YouTube channel, they can see it again on YouTube. You'll have the link. You can put it on your web page, you know, so that people can hear it and understand that it's not so far-fetched that authors are so far gone. I listened to James Patterson the other day say he loves interviews. He said just people are scared to interview him. He said, but I love interviews. And I just thought about it, that people probably think he's so far into his work that he won't do interviews.
He puts his pants on the same way we do.
And that's what he said. He said, I love this. He said, I love this. So we have to begin to understand that there's a community of writers, there's a community of readers, there's a community that builds up writers and readers.
Yeah.
And we need to make that community just that. And Jessica, I want to thank you for being a part of helping us make that community just that. This is again, you know, our baby, but I plan on trying to keep it rolling, keep it rolling. So any of your writers you want to refer for an interview?
Absolutely. I'm gonna send them all to you.
Yeah, send them on over.
You hear that, Victor and Ruth,
come on,
CJ.
Yeah, come on over. The interview, we do the interviews every Monday night, and we'd love to carry it on. We're trying to make bigger connections so that we can take it further. So again, I want to thank you. And I want to thank everybody that was here with us. Thank you for being our guests. And don't forget to sign on to the YouTube channel and put the numbers up in there so that Jessica as well as iPen podcast can get what they can get.
Well,
Felice, you have last words.
Well, okay, thank you for that. But first, Jessica, we need to know how people can get in touch with you. So
I forgot all about her little banner.
Yeah,
Wait a
yeah.
minute. I got her banner.
Okay, well,
I
I didn't see it.
got it. Wait a minute.
I have a little banner.
Here's a little banner.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's the way to get-
And just in case you want to see all of her good stuff, you can go there. Yes. We have both of her banners there. www.twaSolutions.com and Jessica at twaSolutions.com.
And JessicaTillis.com. You can go there too.
Yeah,
Okay.
JessicaTillis.com. You can go there too. Yeah, she's
And-
building.
And for
She's
them young
building.
folks, do you have any social medias?
Jessica Tillis.
Okay.
At
All
Jessica
right.
Tillis on Instagram, Facebook.
Mhm.
It's still Twitter. I ain't thinking about no X.
You're right.
Let me see.
You got TikTok. You got.
I'm Jessica Tillis. I'm telling you, in 1996, when I first logged on to the internet,
Mhm.
I just took over Jessica Tillis. Jessica
There you
Tillis,
go.
Gmail, Yahoo.
It's easier. It's so
There you
much
go.
easier.
It is.
It's so much
I'm
easier.
at Jessica Tillis all over the place.
So
Yes.
you went and got your own domain then, huh?
I
Everybody.
sure did.
Very
Mhm.
good.
Mhm,
Very good.
mhm.
Okay,
So
well,
again, we'd like to thank you for being our guest, and we appreciate you.
Well, thank
me when I
you.
say
I've had a wonderful time, and thank you for making me feel so comfortable. I mean, this was just, I was allowed to be me, so thank you.
Yeah,
yes, because that's who we want you to be. Because everybody else
I'm
is
just
taken, so,
Jessica.
yes. So stand by, and we'll talk to you guys later. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It was a